Welcome to the Positively Star Wars Senate podcast. This is Obi-Wan Kenobi. May the Force be with you.
Looky, Senator. Decent Jedi arriving.
Let's make this our best show ever!
I will sign no treaty, Senator.
I am the Senate.
This is the way.
Hello, Star Wars fans, and welcome to Positive Star Wars Chat, because this is the Positively Star Wars Senate podcast, coming to you via the power of the Force and a little help from Mark Zuckerberg. This episode is number 73 and recorded on the 22nd of June 2025. But before we get going with the show, as ever, we've got to keep those lights on and our D Plus subscriptions being paid for, so we need to hear from our sponsors of this episode.
He was more than just a co-pilot. He was a fighter and a friend. Enormous in size and strength, he had seen Han Solo through more tight scrapes than he could remember. But now he had to face Darth Vader, and Chewbacca didn't like to lose. Chewbacca is back. Star Wars is back. Star Wars, rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
And thanks very much to them, helping us, as ever, keep the lights on and keep the road and the show on the road even. But my name is Stephen. I am the only British member of the crew, but the rest of my crew comes from across the Great Pond to my west, to my left, but means nothing to you listening, over in the United States of America. So, in messenger order, we have Ryan.
Hello there.
Ricky.
Hello.
And Ron.
Greetings and salutations, fellow senators. Chancellor.
Otherwise known as the 3 R's. This time round.
We could do a special Pirate Day Senate session sometime.
Yes.
When the heck Pirate Day?
Yeah, I think.
Hey, that's a pretty good movie. RRR. That's a pretty good movie.
RRR. Is there such a movie?
You ever heard of RRR?
No.
I've heard of XXX.
Yeah, that's
no,
Vin Diesel.
Not the Vin Diesel movie. No, it's like way off topic, but it's like a Bollywood movie that came out 3 or 4 years ago. It's like 4 hours long, and it's actually like a really good like bro movie, man. It was really good. I watched that whole. I've never watched a Bollywood movie that big, and I was like, that was awesome. Off topic, but still.
There's
On
Bollywood.
program.
Yeah. Bollywood and good. There's 2 words that don't hear together very often.
What?
I'm sure. I know. Don't know. Disingenuous fellow listeners and stuff, but yeah, I haven't seen a Bollywood movie myself. But they're big business. They're billions in other countries, aren't they? They really do. Okay, so this is a bit of a ad hoc kind of Senate session because we've got some newspapers on the table here and stuff that we in our intro that we haven't covered yet.
We're kicking it old school,
and we should have done. But somebody opened the door and the dog got in, and all the papers went everywhere and got eaten and stuff, and we forgotten what we hadn't covered and what we had covered. So we got a bit of what's the word I'm looking for here? A bit of
Hodgepodge.
Clean up.
Hodgepodge.
Yeah, a bit of admin here just to sort out. So we've had things like everything that we can't remember, like Celebration and Tales of the Jedi. And
Tales
some
of
other
the
random
former
stuff.
Jedi.
Yes, I can just about remember the gist of them. So where are we going to start? Ryan, you got a recap on anything, have you? On Celebration?
We can go around the table.
Yeah, want to do a round table?
We haven't did
Round
that in
table
like
of what?
since
What have
last
we been
year.
up to? Since last year? I can't remember that.
We haven't done anything since we haven't done around the table in a while.
Star Wars business in the last 30 days. Okay, in that case, it is you then, Ryan.
My little bit of Star Wars is went to a Star Wars Unlimited like small tournament near where I live a few weeks ago. It was fun. It was just a small little thing. I played an Anakin deck. It's a small area, only like 4 or 5 people show up, so I can play stranger decks and I'm not too worried about winning. But yeah, so that was a fun. Anytime I can get to play Star Wars Unlimited, I still don't have a scene in my local comic shop, but it's something I need to try for a little bit harder. I went to, what was it? No, it's not Three Rivers. It's Sci-Fi Valley Con. It's a convention near me. I went to that, and it was mainly like a Twilight convention, so my spouse was into that. But I did pick up a 3D printed, I sent it to the group a while ago, but it was a small 3D printed like statue, like 5 inches tall, and I've just never seen this design. It's the Death Star opened up, and inside of it was Vader's helmet, which was also opened up, and inside was a skull. So I just have to say, like, 3D printing is getting amazing over the past couple of years that I've watched it grow from single colors to multicolors to now like different layers of everything. So I'm really picky if there's strings and stuff, because I don't want to, if you don't have clean, smooth stuff, or if it's not like resin printed, I probably won't buy it. But this just looked great, and I've never seen a design like it before. So I just thought that was really fun. So I picked that up. And then I also bought Star Wars The Acolyte Wayseeker novel, but we were warned by the authors not to read it until the final book, Star Wars High Republic Trials of the Jedi. So I pre-ordered that. I got that in the mail a couple days ago. I had to stop reading Dungeon Crawler Carl, unfortunately, because I freaking love that series now. But I have to finish the High Republic. I'm about like 60 pages into it. After that, I'll probably switch back over to Dungeon Crawler Carl. And then after that, I'll probably switch back over to Acolyte Wayseeker, because I just, it's the Acolyte. I love reading that story. So I'll give that one a shot. So it's, the book stuff is definitely filling up. I got a lot to read. There's a lot of comics and stuff. But as far as I also found a Star Wars the Black Series Trivial Pursuit game. So if you ever need me to do a little Trivial Pursuit thing, I'll be happy to run it some other time. So Ricky and anybody else can join in.
Yeah, Ryan, elaborate on that. I don't think I've seen this. Black Series Trivial Pursuit game. So a newly released game. Black Series related to the figures at all, or are they just calling it that because the questions are new or different, or a new basis of questions? I can't say I've seen this. So you picked it up where?
Oh, like a random flea market. It's like a couple bucks. It's just like a Trivial Pursuit game. It was printed. It's got a big old sticker over it, so I can't see when this one was released. 2016, so it's not brand new. It's around just after Force Awakens Trivial Pursuit. So I haven't seen one post sequel trilogy, but
it's labeled Black Series Trivial Pursuit. It's not ringing a bell at all, but interesting. Okay, so it's not new. That's why I can't say I've seen it in my travels, because it was a flea market find, but cool.
Yeah, we have something called like the Exchange in this area, and they sometimes have like cheap stuff if nobody buys it, and it was like $10, and I was like, oh sure, why not? Never heard to have more Trivial Pursuit stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. I never heard of the Black Series one. I'll have to look it up.
It's a cool box. It's just all black and red. But yeah, some little Star Wars stuff here and there, and like I said, reading has been my big thing. As we enter this dry spell of Star Wars television, but there is more to come, as we will discuss later in the recap for Celebration. But yeah, that's kind of my Star Wars. Bunch of little figures. I got lots of books to read. Picking up little knickknacks here and there. And the big thing is Star Wars Unlimited. The next, Series 5 coming out. The pre-release is the 4th of July. So that's the next big set coming out as far as like Star Wars Unlimited, because I will talk about that game every chance I get. So go play it, go buy cards. Oh, and this should be the set, Legends of the Force, that actually start appearing in big box stores, which is something that I know Ricky was waiting for, and it'll be more accessible to more people, because you can probably get it at Walmart and Target, depending on what the widespread of the release is. So I'm excited to kind of see how that goes, and to blow a couple more dollars every time I walk into the grocery store.
So Ryan, is that like the next set is going to be in everywhere, or they're re-releasing the first?
The next set, Legends of the Force, should start releasing at big box stores.
Cool.
The official release is July 11th. It's like Friday, July 11th. For gaming purposes, the pre-release is the 4th of July.
That has all the High Republic cards in there, huh?
They do have they only have like 4. Avar Chris is a leader.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not Markion Rowe, which I was bummed about. But at least he has a card. Like he's got a pretty strong card in there. One of the bases is Starlight Beacon, so like I think it looks
cool.
freaking really cool. A lot of Force users in it. So
Well, you're just doomed if you pick that as your base.
yeah, it's a home crash. It's just an unlucky base.
Is it like worth 10 instead of 30?
No, it's no. I mean, it's worth 28. It's got 28 health, and every time you attack with a Force unit, you gain the Force. Like it's gaining a new ability as the Force. So it's just like almost like a token that you cash in to give your card to give specific cards more abilities. So
you can't have enough tokens in this game, apparently.
Every set's new tokens. So I mean, if you ever need to go over the next leaders, they did release them all, and we can touch on the leaders, but we can go around the table first.
Okie dokie. Yeah, we're gonna save that for a special breakout session.
Yeah, we'll have to do it.
We can get into the weeds on that one.
Yeah, we'll have to do another Star Wars Unlimited episode. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
We there's 3 sets we didn't cover in so far.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be good to do one because then, now, like you said, it's coming into big box stores, and so maybe people are going to just start getting into it again.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to do one because I've got many a question, but not for the Senate session. But yeah, I've got many a question of my master, the Padawan relationship with you guys to ask about with the new sets dropping and all that stuff that's coming. So yeah, we'll definitely have to get together and make that happen.
Let's not wait forever this time.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Have a little session because I'll probably washing my hair that day.
We'll be doing it while there's a soccer game on or F1 race.
Yeah, there we go. That's pretty much. It won't be long, but that'd be like every Sunday again. I hardly have any breaks around here. Okay, Ricky.
Hello. I've been rewatching the movies. Obviously, I always do that, and then I've been trying to get back into Star Wars Outlaws. I hadn't picked it up in a while, but I started playing the other day again. So I'm like. But the big thing that had been occupying my time the past month or so was been the Star Wars Fortnite, which ended now. But that's been pretty fun. That was pretty good. I liked trying to unlock everybody. It was a shorter season, but yeah, they had Palpatine, and then you could have a skin of him now, and
I got Phasma.
Yeah, Captain Phasma now. That was pretty fun. And then you could go in there and fight Darth Vader. It was like a samurai Darth Vader. I didn't do the AI thing though. Did you, Ryan? You could talk to Vader?
No, I was never able to find him because usually I don't wear a headset anyway. So I just watched kind of some clips, and I mean it's just brilliant fun, and it brings a lot of attention to the entire season. So, I was happy that they had something like that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. You get to walk around, talk to Poe. Well, that's how I was gonna go with Poe Dameron. Yeah, they had So I know you guys don't play, but they had different areas of the Fortnite map. One was a Resistance base. One was Vader's hideout, and then there was the Rebel base, and you'd find Princess Leia just standing around hiding somewhere, and she'll give you a gift. So it was just everything was just Star Wars in there, and then you can get a lightsaber if you ran into Mace Windu hollow projection and stuff like that. So it was just people that hate Star Wars always hate that play Fortnite always hate when there's a Star Wars season. But I think those of us that are Star Wars fans that play Fortnite we're yes.
Honestly, I've seen a lot of positive talk. Once the season ended, there was a lot of people that were just it was really just fun. I mean, the unlimited ammo, everything was a Star Wars blaster. You could fly X-wings and TIE fighters around. It's just being goofy on it, and it was really good skins. I got the battle pass, and they were just all Star Wars related, which is really fun. So, and it was something really great where the last skin was Grievous. And before Grievous turned into the cyborg or whatever. Yeah. So
what is it called? He's the what is it?
Oh, I can't remember his species.
Kaleesh? Is Kaleesh warrior?
Yeah, it sounds like it's something like that. Kaleesh. But so I got that skin. So I got the Phasma skin. I got all sorts of new because the only ones I had before was Boba Fett, and I did spend some money on the Samurai Vader skin when that was out. But now it's Phasma, a weird Wookiee. I got Palpatine, got Poe, got all sorts of people, man. So it's just, I got Grievous. Oh, and then the armor. Did you get the Mandalorian armor?
No, I didn't get the Mandalorian. It'll come back. I know
you went for Jar Jar, didn't you?
Yeah, I got the Jar Jar skin, which I was happy. I didn't do the Darth Jar Jar. I got the normal Jar Jar, and I did Mace Windu. So I got both of those.
Yeah, that's cool. But man, I love the Mandalorian skin because it's so you can edit it so much. So with that one skin, I made 6 skins, like whether it's like a Wolverine crossover, I'm crossed over with Doctor Doom. I like created my own character. I made one look like a stormtrooper. So it was just, I've gotten so much use out of that skin. And now it's like my main skin is just alternating between.
You mixed it with the Wolverine stuff. You could adjust the colors?
Well, yeah, so like the one I have with Wolverine, he's primarily blue with yellow accents.
Oh, okay.
But I gave him like Wolverine claws. I gave him a Wolverine backpack. Okay. He does the Wolverine pose. Like Doctor Doom, I'll make him coast in on Doom's fist. So it's just like a little crossover with some characters that are weird. And but yeah, I can have like almost anything match a color now. They didn't have a lot of colors, which I was
really
hoping for like like a purple, pink, and yellow or something. I was hoping for something really wild, but they didn't. And who knows if Disney didn't want to go like that wild with it. I would have went with like an all pink or purple, like the colors of millennials, purple, pink, and orange or something like that. But regardless, I got like 6 skins out of it that I play with all the time.
That's our podcast color. It's our podcast color.
Right. It is. That's why it's so comfortable.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I ended up getting all the John Williams music. So they had the Imperial March, and then they had the Cantina music, which I already had. And then they also had Lopty Neck, which I was surprised. So every time I win, it plays not Lopty Neck now. So
really?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It does get it gets kind of annoying as a lobby music after hearing Lopty Neck on repeat over and over again. So yeah.
Did you have to buy it, or was it unlocked in one of the passes?
No, I had to buy it. I bought it.
Okay. Because I know I did like the big pass where I unlocked everything across all of it, and I got a bunch of music stuff. But I'm like, what am I going to do with Sabrina Carpenter? I don't know. I just want Star Wars.
Yeah, I have my wife's using those as her lobby music. So yeah, but yeah, the Sabrina Carpenter was the music whatever thing. But yeah, the Star Wars stuff. I wish they would have put the there was one song, Ryan, that got unlocked. It was
was there?
It was the main theme.
Look.
Yeah, the main theme. It has a rebel symbol on the album cover. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to look then. Because I know I keep my background as Mace Windu, and I only use the Stormtroopers or Maul's car. So I'm glad they focused on Star Wars. It was successful, and it was a relatively big event. So.
And it was also pretty cool to see the first episode of Star Wars Underworld, or Tales of the Underworld at in the game. So you got to see that a couple days early. So that was cool.
I forgot about that. Yeah, we did do that, didn't we? Yeah. Like, you can play in the game, go to a special area, sit down and watch it on like a movie screen as your character, and then blow it up on the full screen. Because I watched like the first 15 minutes from the character sitting in the seat, and I was like, this is horrible, man. Before I realized you can make it full screen, and then I restart it. But that was brilliant too. Just like the interconnectivity of Star Wars, regardless of people say about this is how Palpatine announced to the galaxy that he was returning, was in a Fortnite game. The interconnectivity between it all for someone who absorbs so much is just really fun.
Yeah, it was cool. I enjoyed it. I'm sad that it ended, but they'll do something else next year. They seem that every like May the 4th they always have something going on. So,
which is fine. They could tease us, bring it about, and it's a big talk. So that's cool. I'm fine with it.
Those things that you acquired, purchased, earned, leveled up or whatever, so that the Star Wars season or whatever is over, can you use them in the common things or the regular things or whatever? And also then do they still exist? You have them forever, so next May the 4th when they do another Star Wars themed thing or whatever, can you break out and dust off those old things and use them?
Oh yeah, no, I'm always a Star Wars skin whenever I play. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you pretty much purchase the skins and you get to use them forever. And since Fortnite won a legal battle that you don't have to pay a subscription service to play the game, you can just play it as whatever. So if you buy a skin, an overpriced skin, I will say, that's why the Battle Pass was another good deal. But you buy a skin, you just use it. Like I bought Boba Fett, was one of my first ones. And that's what kind of got me back into Fortnite. I played a little bit with the kids, but I was just never good at it. I was more of like a Doom or Nintendo player. And I played Boba Fett, and I played him as forever, and then the season dropped, and I play all the time with a kid doing stuff. And
this was the second Star Wars, right? So this was the second one. Something makes me think I did that. I bought something way back when the first time I ever.
Like the third.
I didn't do anything this go around.
It's like the third or fourth, but I think this was definitely the biggest one. So
yeah, the last one I don't think was that big.
Yeah.
All right, so I missed it. Right, because it's over. There's no earning, purchasing, or anything Star Wars related at this point.
Yeah, no, it started
Okay.
before Celebrate. It started like before May. It was like the week.
Yeah,
of
that May time frame makes the most sense. It's ginned up and there's buzz about it, so it makes sense that they would do it.
And usually
in that
Star
time,
Wars,
unless a movie or something dropped.
Usually Fortnite seasons are like 3 months, but this one was only like a month. So, but yeah, it was fun. But yeah, it's pretty much been it. I've just been doing that and just watching the movies and stuff like that. But yeah, it's been good.
Okay. Very good. Last but not least, it's Ron.
Yeah, I don't know what it's been so long since we've gotten into this. I don't know what I have or haven't been doing, what I've talked about. I can't. I'm in a hard press to try to remember all of it. Definitely been doing a little bit of Star Wars Unlimited and keeping up with that. Still very much a noob with it all, but still very much enjoying it. Finally opened up the Carbonite packs, which were the fancy packs that had all kinds of the high different art or the different style, the things you're trying to collect when you open up the regular booster packs. They only have one in it, so that was exciting and fun to do with my nephew. We had a good time.
I was going to ask, what'd you pull, man?
I know I pulled something serialized. The weirdest ship ever. I don't even think it was a legit Star Wars ship, or if it was, it's super obscure. I don't remember what it was, but I was happy to finally pull something serialized. And my nephew did pull a what's the leader called? A showcase Han Solo. So we finally have something in our collections that are exciting in that sense from the collectible. Been dabbling with that. I can't think of much in the way of collecting anything. There's not much out there. I haven't been seeing much of anything, so just been organizing or just curating the existing collection. There's that new line. It's a very basic line. I think they're calling it Power Force. It's not Power of the Force, because that's what the other lines used to be. But there's a new line. I don't even know how to describe it, of 3 3/4 figures that are out there that are sort of kiddified. But I thought I saw recently there's new figures coming out that are, I want to say, Andor related or Mandalorian related. I don't know. I thought that line was going to die because it just had some basic. It's like it's got some resurrection, but I've not seen much in the way of the toy aisles or haven't been in any sort of reset or anything like that. And yeah, outside of that, obviously trying to keep up with the tales of. Hadn't watched those when they initially dropped because we had so much content or whatever and was kind of saving them. So glad we get a chance to talk about them. That I found those to be entertaining. So that's a bit of my Star Warsing. A bit light, I think, here as of recently, or a bit light from a memory standpoint. I'm sure I've done a lot since the last we've mentioned anything, but let's have at chatting about what we have seen or have had go past us, because I don't think I have much more in the way of my bit of Star Warsing. That's it for me.
Wow, that's the first.
Yeah, right. I know.
I'm sure that's something you've done. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll think of things as we go, whatever. But at the moment,
you mentioned the figures, Ron, and I must say I'm really surprised they released a set of Acolyte Black Series figures, but they didn't put the Stranger in there. So everything that I see of the Stranger is custom. I haven't seen his official figure yet, so. But they have
fascinating. Yeah, I have seen those. They didn't. They didn't. Obviously, they weren't super popular. I think I've seen them at they made it to the blowout clearance Ollie's type stores or whatever. I don't know, but yeah, they did do that. And you're right. I don't think I ever saw the Stranger. I saw the two girls and Kalnaka and a bunch. There were a number of people in there, but yeah, I don't recall seeing a Stranger. Or that would be the one thing that flew off the shelf. If they were all there, the rest would be peg warmers. That would be the one somebody would be interested. The one thing that would get picked up, perhaps. But I can't say I've seen it online or anything either. So yeah, an odd missed opportunity for them.
Yeah, and speaking of the Stranger, I guess I forgot to mention this. I did pre-order the Black Series helmet, so. That whole, really fancy ones that talk and where they release Stormtrooper helmets, like the really nice Black Series one. They have they're releasing an Acolyte one for the Stranger, and I cashed in some credit card points and got a $50 gift card, and pre-ordered that helmet. I did get it from GameStop, but they raised the price from 100 to 130, and I was like, hell no! So I canceled my order and got it from Best Buy for 100. But still, that helmet looks incredible, man, and I am extremely excited to get that. Hopefully in mid-July.
So Ryan, was that the same one that came out?
Beautiful.
Because I know they came out with one when the show was on. This is a different one then, right?
No, this is the first one, I think.
It's barely coming out? I could have swore they had one during the... Something came out with his helmet came out during the show, but I don't remember. Maybe that was just a statue and not a...
bit when he was in the pool.
Maybe that was just a statue and it wasn't actually a helmet you could wear.
No, we got that
yeah, it might have been a bust.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's one of the coolest designed helmets in all of Star Wars, in my opinion. Like, there's Vader, which is iconic, and Revan, which is, kind of simple. Mandalorian helmets, obviously, because of Boba Fett. But this is just, there's Momin, which is really plain type of thing. Malik, but it's just like a face mask, mouth cover. But the Acolyte is such a good design and so individual, the Stranger, that I just had to get it. It's not just another Stormtrooper helmet with paint on it. It is a completely new design. I love the Beskar. No, not Beskar. It's whatever the metal was in the show. Shoot, I forgot.
Oh, well, I forgot.
Cortosis. Yeah. Was it a Cortosis?
Cortosis, yeah.
Yeah, Cortosis. Like, I just love the idea of it, and I'll sing it till I'm gone, but The Acolyte's an amazing show, and I'm excited as heck to get this.
Ryan, did you see at Celebration? They gave one to Manny Jacinto, and he was all excited.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I almost bought his lightsaber, because when I was in that convention, I found this table where this guy sells all custom lightsabers, and they were amazing quality, like heavy metal and stuff like that. But they were like, ooh, like 200 is when they started to get nice. There was like $80 buns, but it was a solid rod. But he was selling the Stranger's saber, but I never really looked at it up close, and I realized it's pretty much just a black cylinder tube. I'm like, oh, that's not really sticking out. And I already owned a red lightsaber. It's Dooku's, so I guess I'll just use Dooku's. But yeah, I'm so excited, man.
Was that the one you were murdered with?
Amazing. Yes, the red one. Okay. My other one's purple.
Okay, that's cool. Those are always fun to go to. I missed the one we had here. I didn't get to go, but Hayden Christensen was here, so was Anthony Daniels, and it would have been cool to go see. But they were in my city when I was sitting there at work, so that was fun. I was within the vicinity of Anakin Skywalker. So.
Yeah, some of those are like crazy prices, and I don't even want to attend any of them. I will say Mark Thompson is coming to Western Pennsylvania later on, and I'm like, wonder how much it would cost if I get him to record an intro. Like, I don't know.
I don't think he would do that, Ryan. I don't know.
You'll never know.
He's a nice guy.
Money talks. Ryan mentioned a local con. I did have a local con, small little con come in my area, whatever. One of my businesses. I don't. It's not a focus, but I have somewhere a while ago. I picked up a pretty decent chunk. Not even half, so a quarter, let's say, or so somewhere in there, of this Marvel, the initial Marvel comic run. Nothing pristine, nothing, all reader copies kind of thing, whatever. So I've sort of made that a bit of a goal to just let's see if I can complete that. I know there's going to be a couple of challenging issues. The first Boba Fett and the first appearance of Boba Fett on the cover, or a Mandalorian on the cover, and some of the ones are, command some series, so I might not ever see those, but. That con, that was my fun at the booth. Was just trying to find and scored a couple of decent reader copies. Cheap is the point there. Whatever, anything fancy. I know comics are all about that, but I just wanted to see if I could complete the set as a goal or something fun to do when I'm out of those things. So I do enjoy that aspect of walking the con's always fun, seeing what you can see, but then hitting those booths and trying to see if I can find any old Marvel comics to fill. I got a thing on my phone, so I know which ones I'm missing and which ones I'm looking for to just see if I can fill those in. So that's been fun. That's been a fun little thing to do.
Oh, I also I read the Mace Windu book, The Glass Abyss. I read that, which was actually shockingly really good because I didn't enjoy the other book, Shatterpoint, that came out in the early 2000s. But I read this Glass Abyss book. And it was really good Mace Windu book. Post episode 1 type of thing, goes on an adventure to help Qui-Gon. It ended with a big villain battle. And that's what I like in books. And I hope the High Republic ends the same. It's not looking very good, but we'll see. I'm only into the book, but So
the title seems a fun sort of nod to him going out the glass and the glass abyss or whatever. Does the title have any significance in terms of the glass abyss in the book? Obviously, you say it's episode 1, so it's not related to that episode 3 glass breaking and he falls out, kind of thing, whatever. But is there anything to the glass abyss title, or is that just a clever title?
Yeah, there is. There's like a giant underground cavern, and in that underground cavern, there's like a giant crystal platform that's pulled up and like held by giant cables up in the air inside this cavern that holds an entire city on it, if it gives you like the size of it. And that whole thing is called the Glass Abyss because it's a giant crystal thing just strung from the ceiling that holds an entire castle on it. And that's called the Glass Abyss. But yeah, being that it's Mace Windu is definitely funny. So they
the other one was like Shatterpoint.
Yeah, a fun little nod, right? A little tweak of sorts.
Yeah, it still matches, and that's good enough for me. But yeah, it was just a fun Mace Windu book. Like he was a good character. He was strong. Where Shatterpoint, I feel like made him weak. Like this, he was just strong throughout. And it ended with like this villain who was really strong and could go toe to toe with Mace, and that's what I want in books and movies. I want a big battle, like that's it, man. And maybe I'm simple, but give me a big fight and you make the hero barely survive, and I'm cheering. And I was very happy with the book. So another book to put on everyone's read list: Glass Abyss.
Yeah, interesting.
What about you, Stephen?
That's the last thing I like in my Star Wars books is a big battle.
What are you going to do? Like a political thriller?
I find it hard to figure out what's going on, really. So it's just battles don't really work in words.
Mace parries left while bad guy dodges and ducks. Yeah, it is a bit.
It don't really work for me, but
it's a visual medium, those things. But for someone that can read the things and do it in their head or whatever, more power to them. But I'm with you, Chancellor.
Yeah,
that it's just
I can't work out what's happening. That's the thing. You know, they say he does this, does that, and stuff. I like think, well, I can't. What does he mean? Is he by his side? Is he on the floor? Is he treading on a pirouette or something? I don't know. I can't work out from things exactly how they're battling.
I've heard from like certain people that like they read differently. So when I read, I see the images in my mind, like I'm playing a show. So like that's just how I read. So if I don't have a good description of a character, it's just like this faceless feature that I see walking through my head. Maybe it's my history of comics. So as I read comics, obviously they're all associated with pictures, but now as I read more novels, I like a good scene setting so I could build it in my mind, and I play the battle out and what they wear and how they look and they're sweaty and all that stuff. It makes me really appreciate some good writing when they give a lot of good detail. That's why I like the medium. So it also just gets me away from my phone.
You're a bit skewed, but that Glass Abyss, is it also well received by others? Is in general, not that that's the reason being, but I'm just curious in general. What do you know? Has it been a well received book, or are you the outlier?
I guess that is kind of. I do like a lot of things. Obviously, I'm here on this, but overall, I haven't seen anything massively negative. Yeah, there is some negative, but there's negative with everything. But for the most part, it's nothing huge and groundbreaking where I had like the whole internet talking, and nothing where I had a whole internet hating it. So it's just like you see like a fair split that more people enjoyed it than didn't, but they're like, yeah, I thought it was okay. Where me, it checked all the boxes where Mace didn't look weak. He was solving mysteries. There was, this background story and this air of mystery about everything. Like, why is this all happening? And this bad guy was slowly building in power, and the hero's got to fight him at the end. Like, that's what it is. It's got to be like an anime. Like, you got to build it up, and you got to make, the hero gets beat and comes back stronger. And that's the one reason why I loved the book Padawan, because it's about the Padawan story of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And it's him discovering himself and exploring who he's going to be as a Jedi Knight, and then fighting a big guy at the end and, maybe being triumphant, or maybe he was killed. You'll have to read it to find out. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the story of Obi-Wan. You never know. That book. It's been so long since I read that one, I don't remember. But
yeah, that was like my favorite book of that year. Because like I said, maybe I'm simple, but you just got to have a few check boxes, build up the hero, don't make him look like a total fool. And that's the other thing. Sometimes they make certain characters look like fools where you're screaming at the page. You're like, why would you do that? Mace felt like Mace Windu the entire time.
That's cool.
You know, he's a good negotiator. He wasn't a total jerk, but he was definitely front with people. So it's like, okay, that's good, nice.
Ryan, who was the author?
Heck, I don't know. I don't own it.
Is it? I guess what I'm trying to ask there is it one of the
main ones that usually does everything.
Often used authors, or was it a newer name? If you can even remember that. Think it's somebody that's authored Star Wars before.
Let me see. It was by Stephen Barnes. I think he might have did some like smaller stories from like From a Certain Point of View books. So, but again, he's not one of the big. I mean, the big ones I know are like Claudia Gray, Charles Soule, who only wrote I think like 2 or 3 of them. But Claudia Gray is a big one. You know, she writes a lot. There's a lot of them that do, but Stephen Barnes, I don't know off the top of my head.
Well, see, everybody liked the Dark Disciple book, and I didn't really that much. But yeah, so there's some people I know that didn't like Plagueis. So
yeah, like me, I hate the Plagueis book.
Oh yeah, you didn't like it either.
Yeah, that's dumb. Apparently, he wrote the Star Wars Legends book, The Hive, or the Cestus Deception, in 2004. So he did write some books. You know, he wrote a book in 2004. That seems to be his only other Star Wars books. You know, full book. I don't know if he'd done short stories anywhere else.
Okay, right. I think we've done the table now. Let's shift those papers away. And what else is in the? What else is in the? Sorry, what about me?
What about you? What have you done?
Yeah, what about you? What have you done?
Everything I've done is not Star Wars.
You're sitting at the table too.
I am sitting at. Actually, I'm sitting at a table for a change. I haven't. So anything I can talk about is not Star Wars stuff.
Monopoly Go, man. You've been playing that game.
Hey.
Oh yeah, I've been doing that. I forgot about that. Well, mine limited a little bit of it, but yeah, the Monopoly app has a Star Wars.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, Star Wars Monopoly. Yeah, I have been playing Star Wars every day.
I'd like to see it be a bit more. I mean, it's Star Warsy and some of the stuff, or whatever, but yeah, it's just Monopoly goes with a little flavor of sprinkling of Star Wars on it. I think it seems like it could try a little harder. Something. The recent trying to catch a Jawa and stuff, but it's fun, mindless, something to do. Kill some time on the phone.
I could never catch that Jawa.
What? I've caught it twice.
And I would load up and they say the Jawa's got away, and I think, well, it's got away. I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, and then you try and to catch it, and you just end up one square behind it. Then you roll like a 6, and it would sort of like roll like 20 or something like that. And you're like, oh, damn it, heck.
I will say that game does cheat to make you lose your dice, so you can
it
buy
does
more.
Cheat.
Yeah,
there's a lot of cheating going on there. I have to say. I reckon. Apparently not cheating by certain people who play it as well.
And that's
reason
why
Reddit's
Monopoly guy always ends up in jail. So.
Yes.
And so that was dropped at Celebration, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did that come out?
It was
announced then, or whatever. It was just a thing.
Yeah, Ashley Eckstein came out and announced that was her whole announcement thing. So she came out and showed the trailer and stuff.
Have you seen the adverts of it for it? I think we said this before, with Hayden in it.
Oh yeah, I did see that one. That was pretty neat.
There's a couple of them in there.
Yeah.
That's one where he goes to the shop and he goes into a shop and she's trying to do a Jedi mind trick on him, and then he uses his hands to open the door on the way out, sort of thing. And there's another one where he goes to some sort of burger bar, isn't it?
Yeah, there was one where he goes to like a food truck or something like that, or a coffee.
Yeah,
thing.
I was going to try and check if that username actually exists or not.
Too bad you can't search people by usernames. I would have totally looked it up.
Yeah, I know you can't, can you? No.
Yeah. Did you notice on that commercial though his order was 66?
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to search these out. I cannot say you guys have seen these commercials on TV or online.
No, I've seen them on the flipping adverts on
YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, that's where I've seen them.
Yeah. Okay, I have to go search these out. They sound
They're very short.
You know,
they're very short, like 50-second ones.
Yeah, I was really surprised Hayden Christensen was doing Monopoly Go commercials. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I'm glad to see him back involved in stuff like that. That's really nice that he's.
Well, it also speaks to well, how much money are they making that they can do that sort of thing?
Well, how much money people spend on dice in this game?
Well, I tell you what, they're making absolutely nothing from me, apart from maybe in adverts. But I'm not paying them a dime because I think they are bleeding people dry and taking people's who are addicted to things and forcing them to spend their money on things they don't really need to spend their money on.
Well,
but that's
that
just
company
me.
bought Pokemon Go, so I'm kind of worried about the game. I haven't played it in a while, but you probably have to buy your Pokemon now.
They'll probably change that into some way that makes you also feel like you have to spend money on it.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Honestly, that's why I just deleted the whole app. So I did.
Yeah.
I just was like, you know what? I don't have time for this. I don't like being pressured to buy it. Every time you opened it up, it was like 3 ads to buy dice. And I'm like, no. And I wanted to just focus more on reading and get away from my phone. So I'm just like, I got to get rid of distractions. So unfortunately, luckily, I haven't spent $1 on it. I did save up lots of dice and all that, but I'm just like, I don't need these constant reminders to open boxes. Like, I got so much other stuff to do on my plate. I'm like, sorry, Monopoly, you're out. I tossed it before I got too addicted to it. So sorry, I won't be helping you guys in your teams anymore.
Well, I think there's only a couple weeks left, right, Stephen?
Yeah, it's not that long left now anyway.
I'll probably play it casually afterwards.
I'll probably ditch it afterwards as well. But I mean, I can't say I ever get addicted to it because you can't. There's only so many dice you can use, and then you're out of dice, and that's like, well, that's it. So I can't really get addicted to it. And
I only like collecting the Star Wars stuff. If it's not going to be Star Wars stuff, I'm like, I don't really need to get emojis of the Monopoly Man or tokens,
Not just like what really did it is it made me mad that I like pushed so hard so I'd unlock whatever it was the season that I last teamed up with you guys, where they had like the 4 tiers. I really did push as hard as I could. I mean, luckily Marie did most of the work for one of them.
The statues?
With like your kid Ricky and with you, like I pushed as hard as I could, even helping out the other guy. And just in that last day, I could barely get any more of those.
Well, that's going on right now, Ryan. There's but you're building vehicles this time, and like it's been so hard.
I don't think I'm going to complete any of them.
No, I'm not either.
We're on the final stretch, and
Stephen are trying to get to the last one.
I'm going to get enough time.
And
there's a couple more days, maybe.
I needed a 4th, and my brother-in-law wasn't online. Like, I couldn't even ask him to join, and so like they just had a baby, so he's probably pretty busy. But
it's very crafty. I spoke with Marie privately about it, and another person online who plays Monopoly. And really, the only way you can actually complete stuff is to pay them money. Really,
yeah, pretty much.
They're very crafty and know exactly how to do it. Draw you in so you can get so far, but you can't get. You can't get to 90%. You can't get that final 10% without having to spend some money.
Well, Stephen, I had for the 4th person, I ended up picking somebody that asked to join my team, which was a guy that was on my friends list. That was a suggested friend named Ryan. Not you, Ryan, another Ryan. But dude hasn't contributed 0, like nothing. Like, why are you gonna ask to join my team?
That's like when I had Rennie on the previous one, who I still think she's a bot. But if you're listening, Rennie, out there somewhere, you've got profile photos of a sort of a ginger hair and stuff, and the full face stuff, very attractive. And she was very helpful on their previous partners thing, and she basically pulled me along. I was the donkey, and she was the carrot. And but she's gone quiet now over the last. I'm sure she's a bot, but I'm ever hopeful that she's actually real.
This dude, like, I asked to join my team, and then hasn't contributed at all, and then he wasn't playing, but then like he keeps knocking down my shields. I'm like, what are you doing? So I unfriended him. So he's dead to me now. So.
Block him. Report him. Yeah. I don't think I'm going. Yeah. How long's left? Then I can't. It can't. Yeah.
I think it ends like a couple hours. So.
No, that does. But I mean, the whole Star Wars thing.
Oh, I don't know. Probably till like the end of the month, maybe.
Yeah, it can't be much longer now.
Yeah.
I mean, it passes for half hour time or so a day. That's about it, really. Can't spend much more on it, can you?
Yeah, I can see people like getting obsessed and just spending the whole time and buying things.
We're never going to complete those sticker albums. There's no way of completing them.
I'm 9 away, Stephen. I'm 9 away.
Yeah, you're not going to get there.
I got the big one though, so that's the main one.
Never going to get there. Right. Yes. So, but if anybody wants to give us some dice, contact us on the social media channels and stuff. We'll have to protect that.
Clearly, I've been doing it wrong. I haven't ran out of dice yet. Of course, I don't play very often or whatever. And I know you can multiply. So yeah, clearly I'm not doing something right.
I roll by 20s, Ron, all the time.
Are you? Yeah, you rolled in like 1 every time, Ron.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's where you're going wrong.
That's why you don't earn anything.
No,
What's gone
I'll
wrong?
bump it every time I pass go. I'll bump it up. I'll do the max, because that way I know it's because if you bump it up to 20 whatever and land on free parking, you get nothing for your 20. So it's just like ew. I want to guarantee I'm going to get something. So when I know I'm going to pass go, I'll bump it up if I think about it.
And not all the rewards are actually worth it at the end. They're actually doing these partners things. Some of the rewards are actually quite good on this, but another stuff, the rewards for leveling up a sort of level is absolutely pathetic.
Yeah.
Considering all the time you've been in there and saving up all the money and stuff, it's really pathetic.
Steven, did you get the Gungan shield?
80. I did,
okay,
but only because I saw somebody post the link in Reddit. It's a freebie, apparently.
Yeah, it was a freebie.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll be glad to see the end of Peggy. Peggy.
Oh, the robot
the
thing.
cheating thing.
Cheating robot.
Yeah. Cheating robot. Where the laws, the rules of physics don't apply.
Yeah, it just lands on a 1 no matter what you do.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, but it's scratched in it. It's scratched an itch. It reminds me. I played several years ago. I played, what's it called? Yahtzee.
Oh yeah.
Yahtzee.
I remember.
Yeah, and really, people get same sort of thing. That people get really into that. You have to pay for the dice and that kind of stuff. And I was like, it's a really pointless game. Really, there's no skill in any of it. That's the problem. There's no skill in it at all.
It's all
you're just pressing
like...
the button and leaving it to its logic to do anything.
You're at the mercy of the CPU or whatever runs the game.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And they basically want money at you. At the end, they've got to make their money. Okay, so it's Monopoly. Yeah. Celebration?
Sure.
What about 500 things happened? Can't remember any of them, but it all happened there.
Yeah, I got a couple.
You probably have better notes in the book stuff than I do.
Yeah, I'll go for my notes from April 27th. So,
is that this year? Yeah.
They did announce the season finale of Andor is going to.
Yeah, they just had to throw that out there. But yeah, as was mentioned, as many people probably know, its Celebration is coming to California in 2027. Yeah. So nothing next year, and 2027. I never hope to fly over the Mississippi again, so I probably won't go.
Drive, right?
Oh no, I've driven across the Mississippi plenty of times too. I don't go over the west side of the state no more. I used to work out in Wyoming, and I'm just like, you know what? I like the eastern seaboard so much better. And so I almost made like this promise never to cross the Mississippi again. So
you used to go to the gym.
What?
That's my joke there. You said you used to work out in West Wyoming, which means workout is as in gym.
Yeah, work out in Wyoming. I drive all the way out to Wyoming
just to work out.
28-hour drive. But yeah, so it's in Celebration, California. Like, I won't fly across the country just for a convention. I know that, but it's cool. It's, in California. That's a big state in our union, so a lot of people hopefully can go. They announced Visions Volume 3, which I'm hyped about.
Yeah.
Is coming October 29th. So that's a little bit closer than it was when this news originally dropped. So with 3 returning ones, which is like, we'll have an expansion on like the 9th Jedi and the Duel, I believe, which is like the Ronin one. So those are expanding stories. So I think that's pretty cool. They have a connectivity to it.
Which one was the 9th Jedi, Ryan? I don't remember.
I think it's the one where she was forming the lightsabers, and it's the one where it changed colors, if I'm not mistaken.
The one with the dad?
It's like one of the last episodes.
Is that the one with the dad?
I think it had a robot that made tea, I believe.
Oh, excellent. Well, that's something. I should remember that one. That's great.
Remember that was a big talk when we talked about the episode. We're like, the robot that makes tea.
I got to rewatch those again.
Yeah, I enjoyed the first season more, but it's definitely just a great series. I'm going to have to watch the one with the twins again because, that episode's amazing.
They're going back with completely anime studios, right? It's not international again?
Like I said, like 3 of them are coming back again, so they're going to continue their stories, which is interesting for the Duel to continue their story because they had a whole book. Like it's the only Star Wars Visions episode to release any type of follow-up, which is crazy I mean, like, there's such good stories. I don't know what the novel game holds. I mean, Ronin was an interesting one to choose. It was definitely the lead episode of the entire series.
That one was the main one. Like, maybe because it was the first one. That's like people watched that one and they tuned out. And the rest, I don't know. Like, I wonder why they picked that one.
It was definitely kind of its own. It could be in its own galaxy, pretty much. It was so different from anything else Star Wars, so it was easy to kind of expand on. So it was popular. They even made Pops on it. That's the crazy thing. It's the only one to have Funko Pops. Like, I have the Pops. So
I've seen like statues, like the God, I forgot the company, but yeah, I've seen those. Like, they've a lot of, pretty much a lot of them, and I'm pretty sure I saw a Black Series, something somewhere of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have to look it up, but I thought I did see something.
Let's see. There's a Star Wars is getting a video game, which I don't think any of us will play. It's Star Wars Zero Company. It's a single-player turn-based game for PC, PS5, and Xbox X or whatever. Whatever it is. So it's turn-based, and I'm not like a big fan of that, where I go, the computer goes, I go, the computer goes. But it's Final Fantasy VII type thing, and I've never really played that.
Those. Like, I've played like Phantasy Star and stuff like that, and I kind of do like. I mean, Knights of the Republic was kind of like that, where it's like turn-based fighting. So the cutscenes look pretty cool, so I might check it out if I can. I don't know if I'll.
Yeah, it looks like a smaller game type of thing, but like, turn-based just isn't my thing. So I'm just like, whatever.
Definitely
I don't have any of the next-gen systems. I don't have any of the next-gen systems anyway, so it doesn't matter for me.
They might have it on Switch 2.
Well, as much as I love Switch, I'm not paying $95 for controllers and $80 for a video game, because I bought Tears of the Kingdom, Zelda Tears of the Kingdoms for Switch. I went to the pre-release. I paid $70 for it, and I was like, they're lucky this is Zelda, because I do not want to ever pay this much for a video game. Even though I played it for 300 hours, I definitely got my money's out of it. Still, $70 is just insane. And now Switch is selling games for like $80 and $90. So I'm like, peace out.
Dude, I paid like $130 for Jedi Survivor back when it came out.
Yeah, it was like the battle pad, like all that other stuff in it. And believe me, I bought Xbox One just for Batman. Like, I bought an Xbox One, I bought Arkham City, and I bought the collector series with the giant statues. So I spent like $700 on a pop or whatever. But I'm not interested in it. I love the Switch. I do, but it's $80 for a game. It's just like such a slap in the face that I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to support it. Fortnite's free. I'll find some phone games, or I'll just read books. I guess I reached my fudgety old man stage that I'm just out of video games, man. I'll play old Switch games and stuff like that. I'm good.
Playing Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
actually, I was playing Donkey Kong a couple weeks ago. That's I've been playing the Episode 3 game lately. That's another thing I forgot to mention. So, go ahead, Ron.
I have never played that one. Yeah, some of the ones, like, I could never get into the Old Republic games either. Like, I downloaded those when they released out the previous May the 4th, and I just was like, the graphics didn't really hold up for me. It's too much, walking around exploring and talking to people, and I'm just like, nah, it's not really for me.
Those types of games sometimes, like, they're pretty fun.
Yeah, maybe it just didn't click with me. Who knows?
Sorry, Ron, you were saying before I cut you off.
Who knows? I think the Visions thing or whatever was the. Is this the first time they are revisiting something? Because I think Ryan said that they're going to revisit some of the things, the Ronin series, the Ninth Jedi, that they're continuing stories versus just create, full on creating new ones. So I think that has a bit of an excitement aspect, or a bit of a curious to see how what they do with that, and tell more story on something versus just all brand new stuff. So I'm kind of excited for that.
Yeah, and like there's spin-offs. So I don't know what they mean by spin-offs, because like to me, spin-off is a standalone series. But they are bringing back some of the same.
Are they doing
creators.
Like little movies or something? Like,
that's what I thought, because they're like continuing the storyline with the Duel, the Lost Ones. Which is that the one with the rabbit? Oh, it is. I love that rabbit. And the Ninth Jedi are all like spin-offs of it, but I don't. Again, it's not, to me, it's not explained perfectly well if they're standalones or if they're just continuing the story.
The rabbit one like the OG and something like that?
Oh, maybe it was. It was the one where she had rocket heels.
No, Lost
Remember
Ones
her heels
is the one where the dude, they had those towers with the red and the blue one, right? With the they killed the master, and then he was the Padawan. Then you had to fight that demon dude on the top. I have to rewatch those. It's been like years.
Yeah, and especially if they are going to continue and have other stuff, it definitely will pay off to at least watch the first season again.
Yeah. And, excited to see like what season 2. I liked season 2, but I feel like it kind of, I don't know. I definitely did like the style of season 1 more than season 2, with the exception of that twins one. But
it looks like the Ninth Jedi will actually be a spin-off episode. Like it'll be its own thing, and that's what kind of confused me. We're gonna have Star Wars Visions season 3, and then also Star Wars Visions presents the Ninth Jedi. So that one's coming in like 2026. So that one's a little bit farther away, obviously, than Visions season 3. So, but it does seem like they want to continue some of it. So yeah, that's exciting. I mean, rewatching the Visions, any excuse to rewatch that, I'm happy. Also, they mentioned they're working on a season 2 of Rebuild the Galaxy, the Lego one, and I personally love that series. or that little movie.
Yeah,
I thought it was just funny. Yeah, it was funny. I can't believe they didn't make a Lego set for C-3PO with his all gold ship. I was like, that's the one Lego set. I was like, I hope they make that. Just all gold Star Wars pieces. And they didn't. They have some other ships, but I'm like, come on, choose the fan favorites. But they did announce they are working on that, which is fun. I mean, it's just a good, fun, easy show. So I thought that was good. What do you guys think about the announcement for, and again, we all know how movie announcements are going as of late, but they announced Star Wars Starfighter for 2027 with Ryan Gosling. Like, what do you guys think about that?
I've been seeing stuff about like what potentially it could be about, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big ship person, really. I'm not a big like X thing. Like I didn't really read those books, like Rogue Squadron. I wasn't excited when that was announced. I'm like, like I don't want to see the army people. I don't want to see the Force stuff. I guess that's why I wasn't really into Andor that much. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Ryan Gosling's a good actor, I guess. He's a big name. Having
that big name seems to lend some credibility to it might actually happening, but it could also easily be backed out. My schedule didn't work, or it got pushed, so I had to, so it could also just as easily get pushed. So I believe it when I see it, when there's trailers and all that other stuff coming out, or whatever. So much hand wringing and consternation over announcements, and then they pull back and all this sort of stuff. It just. I don't waste any time, energy, and effort into being concerned with that or being upset when something announced doesn't happen. Yeah. It's just whatever happens. They're making the way of it, and celebration. They got to have something to announce, or that's probably even worse. So this one, I do think it's going to happen. I don't know why. I don't have anything towards that.
I think it's already
evidence towards that, but. They're due for something. I do think they seem to think they're a little bit desperate. I mean, they have the streaming service content, but I do think they realize they need something in the theaters to catch the more general masses.
I do feel like that type of movie would scratch an itch that it's like there's no other really sci-fi movies out anymore. Like, and something like with the dude in the spaceship blowing stuff up, that's like Top Gun in space. So it'd be pretty popular, I would assume. Like it's gonna be pretty cool. So like there's really nothing else like that out. Like everything's either like a drama, or it's like some kind of goofy comedy, or it's like a Minecraft movie, kind of thing. So it's
it's the Marvel, or it's the comic book Marvel. You bring up an interesting point and talking point. It was right that it's a sci-fi movie, so there's going to be some science fiction. That is a bit lacking, right? There's not a whole lot
nothing. It's either fantasy or it's
science fiction.
If there is, it's like an Avatar kind of thing, or something like that. But they're making like 4 more of those, I guess. But like just a dude in the spaceship and a cast and flying around, we don't see that on the big screen very often anymore. Space.
Yeah, most we get is like the Alien movies. Yeah. So I'm like, which are still good, but I'm like, man. And honestly, I've watched that every time. I don't get Prime very often, maybe like once a year to watch the Lord of the Rings or the Invincible series. But when I do, I swear I watch that second Top Gun movie like 4 or 5 times. It's just I don't know why. Like, I just love that Top Gun movie. It's just a good story and like emotional, powerful. And I just hope to see that with like and who knows when the era is and all that stuff. I have no idea. Honestly, I hope it's not just the Death Star because I know how all that ends, but just, gritty fighters in space and realizing you can get sucked out at any moment and be dead and, behind enemy, whatever it may be. It's
Project Cinder. That'd be an awesome movie.
Yeah, that needs more filling in too.
Yeah.
So, The Mandalorian and Grogu, they announced for 2026. So, just got to wait another year, then hopefully kick off I certainly did not hate the idea of a Star Wars movie every year. I loved it.
Yeah.
Some people complained, but it was peak Star Wars for me, regardless of what the content was.
I never understood that either. We're like, oh, there's too much Star Wars movies. Like, you can never have enough Star Wars movies. Like, I watched Solo like the night it came out. Like, I was so excited for that. I bought the Denny's cups. I did all kinds of stuff for that movie. Like, I just love seeing Star Wars movies. So, yeah, anyone that complained that, oh, they're oversaturating. No, there's no such thing as oversaturating Star Wars. It's Star Wars. Like, it's so.
Yeah, I mean, I read books, watch movies, play games, like series, streaming series. It's growing.
And I don't get the hate for the name. Everybody keeps complaining about, oh, it's only called Mandalorian and Grogu. Like, what else do you want to call it? It's like Smokey and the Bandit. Like it's Mandalorian and Grogu. Like, that's what the movie's going to be.
They're two people going on an adventure, and Grogu prints money. So, of course, just make it a real simple title. It doesn't have to be Star Wars Presents. It doesn't have to be Star Wars because that relates to the original trilogy. So it's just kind of like they said, a Star Wars story, Rogue One. It's just Mando and Grogu because Star Wars is kind of that arc is ended, and this is all after that.
And then that show
this is a new era. This is their
based
era.
Off of the old Japanese series, The Lone Wolf and Cub. So it's like Mandalorian and Grogu, Lone Wolf. It's the same concept. So it's like that's literally what the show's about. The TV show should be called Mandalorian and Grogu, but
it doesn't need to have some weird fancy title about like the Battle of the Dark Wood Saber. It doesn't need that. I'm here to watch The Mandalorian and here to watch Baby Grogu. Like, I don't need anything else. The things that people cling to for negativity is just that's all you got.
He's going to talk in that movie, Ryan. He's gonna speak.
Is he though?
Yeah, he's gonna be voiced by Ryan Reynolds.
I won't be ready for that. Just a baby.
He's like, yes, Father, I will kill him.
So they did show a clip. You guys probably see for Maul Shadow Lord, the new animated series coming out next year in 2026. So we just got to survive with. We just got to survive this year and whatever politically is happening in the world. I don't know. I don't pay attention. But 2026 seems exciting. We're kicking some stuff off. But yeah, Maul Shadow Lord, which happens post Clone Wars and him rebuilding the criminal empire. So almost like a prequel to Solo. Whatever. People get Maul. People wanted Maul. They got Maul.
Yeah.
So
he has a Padawan, I guess, and then. Somehow he ends up in that cave on Rebels. So I want to see what happened with that. Like, how did he end up in that cave? Did she double cross him? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He did need two people to do that holocron, and that's why he was eager with Ezra, but maybe he was supposed to do it with this Padawan and she like took off or they killed her or something. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, now we have like this big weird arc where we have Rebels, so we know the distance between is 14 years. So what's he do in the 14 years? Obviously, he creates an empire because he's part of Red Sun. And obviously, he leaves that and goes and chases Kenobi and Rebels. So, I think Solo was something like 9 years before. Yeah. I think that's like in the 9-year era, if I'm not mistaken.
And
before Star Wars.
Outlaws, I'm playing Outlaws and like Crimson Dawn's in there and Kira's the leader. So they haven't even mentioned Maul. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, remember, she is kind of like the leader, but he's the criminal son.
That's true.
Yeah. Maybe she's just the leader of that ship. I don't know. Should we watch Solo?
No, she's the leader in the games. I'm like, and it's during the prequel era, so or not prequel, OT. So yeah. So I don't know. She somehow maybe.
Well, I mean, she's in the comics too because remember, Kira's the one that stole Han's frozen body.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. So.
Well, Maul was dead at that point. So.
Yeah, that's true. So he's gone at that 2-year mark.
Yeah, well, I guess he's dead at this point during the game too, because Lando's
That's
in
the other
it.
thing.
Yeah.
People were saying George Lucas's sequel trilogy was bring back Maul and give him Talon as a.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? How many times are you going to kill Maul and bring him back? Like, let's be realistic here. You guys would have crapped all over this, but then cheered for some.
And that's completely contrary to
partially clad
what they initially
Twilight.
said, because James Cameron on that interview, like years back, said that like he read George's treatments and it was supposed to be like a microorganism type world, and it was going to be like the insides of the Force, and that's where the story was going
with
to
the
take place.
midichlorians.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing that everybody loved in the prequels was midichlorians.
You know, isn't that kind of funny that like they're like, okay, George, we're gonna make more movies. Like, what's your treatment? He's like, it's all midichlorians all the time.
Right.
It's what the fans want. And then they're like, oh, they didn't let him make it. Like, yeah, you guys still complain about midichlorians. To the point they don't even say it on Acolyte. Or, no, did they say it on Acolyte?
They called it M count.
M count on Mandalorian, yeah.
No, they did it. Well, they did it in Acolyte also. They did it in both of them.
They just
remember
said
they
M count?
tested. They tested the girls, and I thought they said their M count was.
Oh yeah, they did.
Almost like they were created by the Force.
Yeah, it's their McClunky counter.
Yeah. The other thing they announced was we have the High Republic novels, but they said the final arc of the High Republic is a comic book by Kevin Scott.
What?
It'll be an unnamed miniseries ending with a one-shot, The Beacon. So, hopefully, again, I'm getting a little weary with the High Republic. While it has sparked a love of reading that Dungeon Crawler Carl will now continue on, it's like it better end freaking strong because I've invested a lot of time and some money into the series, and you better give me a giant ass battle where they're fighting Marchion Rowe because he obviously ain't still alive, man. And don't leave it as a cliffhanger. So now I got to go find this comic book, and it's just like you got to give some finality to the people. And I do. I read almost everything, like 90% of everything, even the manga. I try to read when it comes to my library, and it's good. It's Star Wars. I love interconnectivity. That's why I enjoy this whole thing.
Ryan, did you do the audio drama thing? Did you listen to that?
Not the new one.
That one was all Marchion.
No,
I don't know how you can read the next story and not listen to that.
I guess I totally forgot it was even out. I don't even know how to listen to it.
Literally, something happens with Marchion in that thing. So you definitely need to...
Tempest Breaker.
Yeah, if he's missing in the book, you need to listen to that.
Well, he's not missing, but they keep talking about how he has a huge gash on his neck. And I'm like, when did that happen?
You need to listen to that. Yeah, it was all Marchion Rowe, like the whole thing. Like I was really surprised. Like it was like he was in the whole thing. Like it was the most Marchionish story of the whole High Republic.
I think the only way I've listened to audio dramas was when like you gave them to me or something like that.
Oh yeah.
So
I think I actually do have it on my Audible because I did buy it. So yeah, back when it came out. I haven't read Into the Light yet. I need to. I don't know if it ties in very much, but yeah, I need to get into that.
Can't say much about that without really.
Yeah, before I can get to the new one. So
I don't think it's not important to the Nahuja to the main plot, but it's
that's with like Reith and all them in there. I'm assuming it's the same characters from Into the Dark, right?
Basically, it's a sequel to that in many ways.
Is Geode in it?
He is in it.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got to read that. And petition for a High Republic Geode card, or on Star Wars Unlimited Geode card.
Oh, they have to.
Yeah.
Like they have to.
No, he's saying Into the Light. It's basically part 2 of Into the Dark. Like the same characters. You got a little bit and.
Oh yeah, I finished that book. That was great.
Guy and yeah.
That actually was a good book.
Yeah, that was really good story.
I was trying to stick to all audiobooks for this last phase, but I think I might have to just read the ebook because I haven't found the audiobook.
I'm actually closing my Audible account because I just don't do it anymore. I've gone straight over to ebooks and I can read them a whole lot quicker.
Yeah. It's just easier for me to do while I'm working or driving or doing something to listen to it, but yeah, I might have to just take time to sit down and read the ebook for Into the Light.
Yeah, I have to. Yeah, it doesn't really matter if you don't really care that much. But you listen to a Star Wars, but I can't really do anything else at the same time. I have to sit down and listen to it. So
I can always rewind.
Well,
yeah, that's how I am too. If I'm doing anything else, I forget everything they talked about. So, as I usually do oh my gosh, it's on. I found it on Libby.
Libby's still around?
It is Libby, right? Yeah, I don't know what this app is.
Hoopla and Cloud Library. I gotta see if Libby still works with my library.
So I got Craigslist, is it?
No.
It's definitely. Let me see. Can I borrow it? I borrow for 21 days. Yeah, man, I can borrow it. Nobody's borrowing it.
What,
I will borrow that.
For what?
Yeah, it's. Well, wait. I better check that. Yeah, it is an audiobook. 6 hours. So.
What are you borrowing?
Now I'm going to be like super busy because I'm listening to Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm reading Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm reading Trials of the Jedi. So this one I definitely have to do, huh?
Oh, you found it? The audio drama Tempest Breaker, right?
Yeah, it's on Libby. They have it right now. So I thought it was about Lorna D. That's the one with Lorna D, right?
It is. It is, and she's telling a story. But yeah, it's kind of a weird format because it's not to spoil anything because it's right off the bat, but it's like remember they captured her?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're interrogating her, and she's telling this whole story. That's basically the book. So.
Yeah, I'd say.
Maybe I did listen to that.
Off really, the first 3 or 4 chapters I found very hard going, but then it does pick up.
Maybe I listened to it. I might have to look at my history. Like,
I thought I might let you borrow it, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe you didn't.
Because I remember that's the problem. Like, all of the audio dramas are about Lorna D. So I don't know if I'm confusing it or not with some of the other books.
Well, not all. We had to battle with Jedi. I do feel that they've not want to be negative, Senate, but they have really cocked up Phase 3. I just don't know where I'm coming or going with the order of things and stuff.
It's not moving fast. It's not moving fast enough for me. I feel like there's not enough.
Well, and like some books came out
completely out of order
before others.
Yeah, there's stuff happening all over the shop, and little in small books and bits in comics and stuff. And there's no real.
They're really dragging it out.
It's not easy to follow what's coming out next and where you need to go next and stuff. And,
I feel like with the other phases, you had like, okay, I had like a month to read this book before the next one comes out, and then the next one's gonna come out. The next one's like this one is like, it's been like 4 months. Like, like where's the next one? Oh, wait, it's a comic book.
And they always said about you don't need to read them all, just read the main ones, and that's being complete.
No, because honestly, I'm like, why is Marky and Rowe bleeding? Obviously, I have to read something.
You have to read everything. And I don't read the comics, but you guys kind of catch me up on that sometimes. But like, yeah, you do kind of have to read everything.
Yeah, like they have the Rod now, the Rod of Seasons, and I'm like, well, where the hell did you get that? And then someone told me, it's back in the comic, and I'm like,
that's right,
dang it, So I can understand where some people who need a lot of information, like me, who can't just be like, oh, you have the Rod of Seasons, I don't need the backstory. How cool. But no, I need a backstory with everything. So when you tell me you have the Rod of Seasons, I don't even know.
Weren't they looking for that in the other book? The one before?
Yeah, they found it in the comic, though. And then the thing is, they had it, and then they went all this big adventure, and I'm sitting there the whole time like, I know you just found the Rod of Seasons. Why aren't you using it? So that's the other one. They might have went on concurrently. The
Jedi have come across as pretty dim, really, in Phase 3.
Yeah, because that one book had the whole time, it was with the Wookiee guy, and it was it Wraith? They were like looking for the Blight, like they went to the same spot like 4 times. Like they're on that planet, like, oh, they think there's something happening. Let's check it in the lab. Let's do this. Let's have a meeting. Like it's there. Like, okay, don't spend too much time on it. But,
I honestly didn't know what they were doing for a whole year either between Phase 1 and Phase 3. What the heck were the Jedi doing for that whole year? It seemed to be bugger all, really.
Well, and then that one book ended with such a great ending with what do you call it? Markion meeting the Chancellor, and she had her lion things, and he had his namelesses, and it was like, oh, cool, big face off, and then like nothing happened.
Yeah, they stared at each other and walked away, and I'm like, bro, come on.
I was so hyped at the end of that book. I'm like, I can't wait till the next one. Then like, yeah, nothing really happened. He started researching crystals or something. I don't know. Like, yeah, I think they dragged it out a little too long.
That's why I was saying it's like I don't know. The High Republic might flop for me, man, if they don't close out strong. Because
Are you already reading the last book, Ryan?
Yeah. I'm
Are you
already
like halfway through and like still no battle?
I don't see how it's going to end. I don't see how it's going to end with a big battle. I just can't see where it's reaching a climax. It seems to be just everything just seems to be fading a bit piecemeal sort of thing, rather than building up to any.
I mean,
dramatic...
can they really have a big battle though? Because there hadn't been like a full-scale
I can't see where it's
war.
coming from at the moment.
They can't really have.
I'm only a few
war.
chapters into that last book, and I just can't really see where it's coming from. I haven't been able to see it all season really since they
they have to fight Markion. They have to bring down the shield. And they have to kill him. Like,
well, I mean, the occlusion zone's down. And that all happened mostly off screen, so to speak.
Oh, it's up in trials.
Sorry?
It's up in trials.
It's down in the other ones. Oh, it's because it's the order that it comes in. It's all gone down in the other books.
No, trials is the last book. Other than like a middle grade.
It came down in the previous books.
Yeah, I thought they did take it down in the other book.
Yeah, it went down. There's a couple of things I was reading. They talk about it in the comics, and they talked about it in the last book as well. Like the Jedi
it was the audio book
right at the end.
It was the thing that he's going to read now.
No, because in trials it's still up. They still talk about the occlusion zone regularly.
Maybe it got put back up. I don't know.
I can't see it got put back up. I'm to see what that's all about. Because
right now the Gaze Electric powers the whole thing, and the Gaze Electric is still standing. And that certainly was not destroyed in any of the other books. I felt like they found access into it in certain ways, but not large scale access.
Yeah, they were like. There was a thing. I don't know which.
He might have an occlusion zone around him, perhaps.
It's just been so like sporadic and like
the main. As far as I can tell, the main one came down, but
I can't remember.
I don't know. It's all a bit.
Yeah, everything happens in different books, and they've all been coming out in weird order.
This is the problem. This is really the problem with it all, really, isn't it? In Phase 3, it's all just been. It's not flowed very well from being able to say, I'll finish this book. What's next? Oh, I've got to read that comic. Oh, I'll finish that comic. What's next? Oh, I've got to listen to that audio drama.
It's like it's all happening at once, and I can't separate anything. So I'm like, wait, when did that happen? Did that already happen, or is it about to happen?
I mean, nothing to take away from the stories. The stories are good, and the books are good, but the flow of it has just been kind of like, where am I?
Yeah, it has kind of made it
because it's good reading. Like they're good books.
Some of the books,
stories.
Some of the books this season, this phase have been very good. But it's like being in a maze where you don't know you don't know what's coming next.
It's like being in a glass abyss.
Yeah, like a glass abyss. You got a jigsaw, but they've thrown away the front cover.
We're in the mirror cave, snapping a finger.
I got a feeling I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I got a feeling that it's going to end with a whimper, maybe. But
I'll tell you one thing, though.
I think it's going to be interesting, but I think it's going to end less climatic.
All my years of reading, though, like I've never really gotten into anything as much as this, where I'm anticipating the ending. Like I don't think I've ever read a series this long where like there's going to be an ending. I mean, there might not be an ending, but like you know what I mean. Like this is like I have like I have the whole first phase on my shelf right now, and everything else I was doing on digitally, but. Like to go through and read all these books and then read the comics and listen to audio stuff. Like I don't think I've ever done a single series of anything like and consumed this much like written content. So it's exciting. I'm once in a lifetime thing probably for me, but I just don't see another big series this big coming out again. It's crazy.
Well, you never know. Never say never.
Yeah, that's true. But I'll be old by then and I won't be able to see the pages.
Don't worry, there's glasses.
That's true.
And there's always audio dramas, so you don't have to.
Yeah, but if I lose my hearing,
we don't have to be able to see it.
Like, huh?
Yes, it's been a bit. It's been not. It's just been really odd. Phase 3, and that's made it slightly harder to.
You can't read Wayseeker until you finish it.
Sorry.
Yeah, because it mentions that they straight up said it has a big spoiler in it because, like. Acolyte Wayseeker stars
Vernestra.
Yeah.
And I predicted from the beginning that she's got to have something big, and she might mention it in the book. So yeah, it spoils something. It spoils something
once. So who knows?
Yeah, she fought him already. So.
And this is the thing, actually. This doesn't really spoil it. This doesn't really spoil the last book, but as I already started putting little bookmarks in the ebooks. I think, when did this happen? And I've been trying to follow stuff, and there's things they're referencing. I'm saying, I'm pretty sure I've read what I can, but even I don't remember certain things happening. And
I never know if my memory is going to crap or what.
I don't know either. That's what makes it hard. Then they got like, and now they know. I don't remember if Lester Rowe telling anybody about the path in her head. And now it's like everybody knows in that book. I'm like, well,
she told somebody.
I don't remember her telling anybody that. Yeah,
in the Temptation.
I mean, I've been complaining for ages why she hasn't told anybody.
I thought she told Avar.
But when did she tell everybody? And when did they know where the path went?
I know she tried to follow it, and she was back when she left the Order. She was exploring it, but she couldn't find it, so she came back.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, as everyone knowing, I guess I didn't know it was a giant thing either.
I mean, I know there was some conversation with Avar, but I don't remember if she actually straight out told her.
I mean, you can't know where the path goes unless you've been there, surely.
But you know what? She was.
That's like, well, when did she say? I mean, I can't believe.
Wasn't she talking to the bad guy?
I never believed that she didn't tell anybody in the first place.
She was talking to that Sith dude.
And now it's. Hey?
She talking to that Sith guy? What's his name?
Aston Well.
Yeah.
I don't think she's directly talked to him, has she?
I think he said oh, you have it in your... Did he read her mind or something? I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's so much going on. I never know if I miss something or forget something.
Well, I'm glad it's not just me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't remember that at all.
Well, Ron's missed a lot more than all of us. So.
What's going? Path? What path?
waiting for it to get turned into a video. Turned into something on screen, and then I'll enjoy it.
I really hope it does, because that'd be the first time that we'll actually be able to follow it and make sense of it all.
Seeing a book series come to the screen would be like a dream, because it pays off all the people that read it, and then see the finality come to screen, and then it'll create new fans that'll want to go back and read. So I always wish that something a company would do, but who knows?
They do that with Harry Potter and Percy Jackson and Twilight.
Yeah, but not with like the intention of showing the finality on screen. Like, imagine the High Republic having the books, and then the final battle is a movie. Like, that's what I'm hoping that someone do.
Okay, I get you.
So no final book. A movie that stands on its own, and if you want all the backstory, you fought in the Clone Wars. If you want the all that stuff, you can go back and read the book. That's an interesting prospect.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, that's something I wish that some companies would do, but without really letting anybody know. They're just like, "Oh yeah, you like these books? Well, we've been working on this, even if it's animated or whatever. It's coming out next year. It'll be the finality." And it's like, "Holy smokes!" And then that'd be neat.
Yeah.
And then speaking of Acolyte, they are releasing another book, prequel called Crystal Crown, and that comes out in July. That's with Jecki and Yord, so that'll probably be another immediate buy for me too. So just any background stories on characters I enjoy. So
they're both dead.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
BS.
No one ever really dies.
But knowing more about their characters is always good.
Yeah.
So we knew Obi-Wan was dead, and you fools watched him in the prequels. Like, oh, he's so
what?
That is true.
But going back to the thing, like, not being a big battle at the end. Isn't there like a reference or a line in episode 2 where it's Ki-Adi-Mundi again, I think. But it's like there hasn't been. No, it's that one guy, the senator dude. He's like, there hasn't been a full-scale war since the formation of the Republic. So like, can there not be a full war?
People have been having that discussion, haven't they? About why nobody's ever mentioned the knife and all that kind of stuff.
Maybe they just signed a treaty.
It was never a war. It was never a war, though, was it?
No, I guess not.
The Nile have just been running roughshod on them.
Yeah. There's just been attacks here and there, not full-out army versus army, I guess. Yeah.
And in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't last very long.
True.
Like 3 years out of 1,000, they might round up. We've had peace for 1,000 years. Well, technically 997, but I'm rounding up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I mean. That's most of the news, unless there's some other little nitty gritty stuff about comics.
Yeah.
There's another Star Wars book, Master of Evil. Really cool cover, but that's with Darth Vader post Episode 3, which there's already several books like that. But I'll wait for the library on that one. I've learned about all I can from Vader. I get it. You're a sad boy.
Surprised that there was like not that much at Celebration that was like new or like I think they have so much stuff in production right now like that they're waiting. So I think probably the next Celebration probably have like tons more stuff. So basically,
I just remember watching bits of the first day, and it seemed like everybody didn't want to be there, didn't it?
Well, I think they were just I don't know. I like the idea of like if you're there, it's an exclusive to see the trailers, but I think you do lose a little bit of something on the live stream if you're not talking about the thing that everybody else is talking about. It's kind of odd and like, oh, there's a trailer. Oh yeah, did you see that was great? And then like they don't show it.
Yeah. I think the audience generally did feel a little bit different to previous.
The first day,
audiences.
I think, the audience was a little quiet, but I think it's because the time difference. Everybody online was complaining about, or not complaining, but just like commenting about like the jet lag and, because it's totally different time zone than, if you got people from the States going there, it sucks. But, like you should be asleep and you're standing in line for a queue. So, so I think that by the time the second and third day rolled around, everybody was more excited and stuff like that. So I think the crowd just had to kind of feel about how to, react to things, and probably everybody got a good night's sleep and but that first day was kind of quiet.
Yeah, it was weird. Okay, what else? Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Underworld, Tales of the what was it?
What's the next one going to be? Tales of the
Empire. This was Tales of the Underworld with the Sarge and Cat.
Yeah.
I think I like the Cad or the Ventress one more than the Bane one.
Oh, I found the Cad Bane one just predictable, and so I think the thing I felt about the end of it. First of all, was I could see where it was going right at the start.
Yeah,
and plus I thought I didn't really need to know any of this. It hasn't really changed anything about Cad Bane really for me.
He doesn't deserve a Father's Day card at all.
But I did enjoy the Ventress one, but that's presumably they're saying a set-up for a series, isn't it? That's what they were.
Right. I found the Ventress one to just be they needed to address that she was killed in what Dark Disciple or whatever book that was that she was killed in. And they address it right away because the very first scene is Obi-Wan, which I found odd, but Obi-Wan and Quinlan Voss taking her back to Dathomir or wherever and doing whatever ritual. Obviously, I didn't read that book, so obviously there was something there. Does anyone know how she was killed?
By Count Dooku. Her and
in that
book, yeah. And Obi-Wan is in that book a lot, so. Yeah.
Was Quinlan Voss involved? Why is he the love interest or carrying her?
You got to read the book. It's like a 2-hour conversation.
That's why I'm having a conversation with somebody that might. Anyway,
so the book. For background note, because just a quick minute, whatever. So the book is about the Jedi Order. I thought it was kind of silly, but they want to assassinate Count Dooku. Which aren't you trying to do that anyways? So Obi-Wan is Quinlan's friend, and so he's like the one keeping tabs on him because he went deep cover. So they put Quinlan undercover so that way he can get close to Dooku. He ends up getting turned, and then Obi-Wan just kind of sits there waiting for him to come back, but he never does. And so he contacts Ventress to help out. And so then she kind of pulls him back, but then she's spending I think she trains Quinlan to use the dark side so that way he can be more convincing as a, potential Sith apprentice.
And a resistant type of thing too.
Yeah. And they end up spending so much time together. They end up being love interests and stuff like that. And so they have a relationship and this and that. So, and then he ends up falling again. And then he tries to save her at the end. And then Dooku finds everything out. And then she ends up sacrificing herself basically. And then,
okay.
Yeah,
And
so
then
the Night Sister thing, and when they die, they put them in the water, and so the same thing happened like in the book. They threw her in the water because that.
well, they said she. I'm sorry. The Night Sister said she had two choices: join them in eternity or whatever, or she could go back. But the price to pay was Quinlan Voss and so her desire, her heart's desire, or something like
she
that.
could never have him.
I didn't quite understand. And then she goes searching for him. What's the price to pay? She has to sacrifice him in order to stay.
No. Okay? So this is what happened. So that wasn't in the book, by the way.
Right. No, I'm talking the tales of that we're talking.
No,
about.
so like she dies. They put her in the water, right? And so the Night Sister tell her you can go back to life, but you can never be with him, because by the time she wakes up, Order 66 happened already. It's been like a year or something like that. So she's assuming everyone's dead. Everything Quinlan Voss is assumed dead because he was a Jedi. They purged everybody.
Wait, where do you think a year? She wakes up and sees them walking away and calls for him.
Yeah, but by the time she comes back to actual life, like it's not.
Oh, she wasn't alive right then. Oh, she was green misty at that point, I think.
Yeah. So I think when she returned, everything already transpired already, and so that's why you had stormtroopers everywhere, and she was like working where she was working.
And just hiding out. But that's what confused me. She was looking for Quinlan. If she couldn't have him, or if that was the sacrifice that had to be made, why was she looking for him?
Well,
yeah, it certainly seems like you can just love him again, and it's like, well, what did you give up?
Yeah, I don't think she
was weird.
But really, the way that I'm jumping ahead to going right to the end, but the way they ride off in the sunset, it was really just a series, right? Just to bring her back so that she can now exist again.
Yeah, because we don't really know how. We don't really know what happened to Quinlan Voss. Like, we know that he was somehow during the Kenobi series, or in this one, like that he created that path that the Jedi would able to be escaped. But
he's very there's definitely no story around him
at all. He might be dead,
and
so she's looking for him, and he might already be dead, or he might be somewhere else, or he might be in love with somebody else by this point. Because in the comic books, he did have a different wife and a kid and everything. Yeah. So you never know what she might be searching, doing wild bantha chase.
Well, again, like I say, the Tales of the Underworld. These 3 episodes seemed a way to bring her back, so that the next Tales of the Underworld, when they get around to it, if they continue this sort of Tales of Jedi, Tales of Bad Guy, Tales of Underworld, when they get to Tales of Underworld next or whatever, they could tell another Asajj story because she exists.
I was just confused. I didn't know if this was before or after Bad Batch.
I don't know that we have any timeline markers in there whatsoever. Well, they had there was the I found him very Alien versus very Predator-like in his design, but they had the bad guy Inquisitor-ish type, a red lightsabered bad guy in that first episode fighting the kid and Asajj that gets dispatched.
Yeah.
So right, is this or you said it was post Order 66? Was that an Inquisitor basically?
Yeah, it was.
I mean. Right, it would have been. It would only make sense.
Bad Batch, we know that timeline, and we know that she was there to kind of help. What's her name? Omega, right? They brought her in for that. So, like, is this before or after that? What happened with this boy?
Right, yeah. Where is she at? In that
Did that happen first, and then now she's working at that spot? He runs to the kid, and now it's her sidekick, or like, does something happen to this kid and he dies, and then that's why she's by herself?
Wouldn't that have happened before the Dark Disciple, before she died?
What? Bad Batch?
Because we weren't. I don't remember us being up in arms that how is she back in the Bad Batch, or were we?
People were wondering why she was back. Yeah.
Okay.
Dark Disciple happens during the Clone Wars.
So then, right, this explains how she was back in the Bad Batch.
Yeah, she died during the Clone. Yeah, this explains how she was back in the Bad Batch. People were like, well, she died in the book. Why is she? That's why people were mad at Filoni, because they thought like he ruined the book because they brought her back.
He totally forgot about it, and he's like, relax, I got it covered.
Yeah.
All right, so I would then re-remembering that, or would say that this happens first and then the Bad Batch actions with her and Omega. Like she loses that kid or whatever. Yeah. She puts that kid on the path and he turns in. He did have a name, Lyco or something like that. I remember seeing it in the closed captions. I don't think she ever says it, but it was in the closed captions. But yeah, he exists in some fashion, but he could have gotten on the path. Yeah. And just doesn't have to be anywhere until some other creative comes up with something like, hey, remember that kid Asajj helped save? He's now doing this X, Y, or Z, whatever it might be.
True. I did enjoy it. I like the Ventress ones, though.
I like the CAD one. Like, I felt like it was an actual solid story. It kind of had everything you needed. And we knew it was just a story about him. It gave a solid backstory on kind of like where he was. He was in jail and held a grudge for a very long time, I guess.
I did like that he never stopped being a jerk. So, like, he's really a bad guy. Like, I hate when they try to make, sympathetic bad guys. Like, no, he's just a bad guy.
Yeah, he gets mad at his wife for meeting someone else or whatever. A random girl that he met. They weren't even really together. He gets mad. I was like, wait a minute. This girl who you just liked, who you go to prison away for like 6 years, you get out, and that's the first thing you think of is like this one girl you had a one-night stand with. You're going to go hunt down, and she's got a full family. I'm like, you suck, man. Like, you really are a bad guy. And then he has a kid. Like, what the heck are they going to do with that?
A couple of revelations, right, that his name is Cody, not Cad Bane, that he took that on when he went to Bad Guys or whatever. And then, right, that like Steven said, he's not going to win Father of the Year award or Father's Day cards or whatever. Cad Bane has a kid out there, so that has a potential to.
He's Dad Bane.
Dad Bane. It has the potential to be a fun or some conflict story or something. The kid meets up with a dad and is mad at him or takes him out or takes it on, a way to let Cat. What is it they used to do? That it was Greedo, and then was like, no, but he shot him. It was like, oh, that was Greedo the Elder. This is Greedo that it would be a way to let Cad Bane continue on because he now has a son that could look like him, let's say, and take on his dad's persona and lets Cad Bane exist for a long, long time because of this.
Everybody keeps having abandoned kids and stuff.
This one-off comic, or
you're gonna have Boba Fett, you're gonna get Andor's kid, and you're gonna get this Cad Bane's kid in a group.
I am like Steven, though. It was just incredibly predictable. I mean, rightly so. It was the story of a guy going away, and friends split up, and one stays and turns good, the other goes bad. You live long enough, you see all these stories. We've talked about that before, but it was just so predictable. And I also felt it was just predictable, and Filoni was just so bent. He just wanted to have that draw scene. He never got to have it because the Boba Fett Cad Bane dented helmet scene never made it out of animatic. So he just wanted to finally have a Cad Bane down in the streets, hand over the gun, waiting to draw and see that he was the fastest. Show that he was a quick draw.
The animation panel they had at Celebration, they actually watched that scene, like they watched that part of that episode. He showed it, like they were talking about it, the whole thing. It was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that he was wanting that. I didn't quite understand the guy, his friend or whatever. Like he didn't just come. He waited too long and got too wordy with it. This is your son, I'm a father figure to your son, but this is your son until after
I think they made him more mad. Like, you're raising my kid with my wife you stole.
Well, no, I was trying to do right, but you left. You had the one night stand, had this kid. I was trying to do right by it. You're just now coming back. I'm sorry she's passed, but it wasn't my doing. You've been gone. But no, instead of having those words, they settled it with a draw fest. It was just a little, but it had the squinty eyes and the looking through the brim of the hat and the quick draw, and it had it all.
The main thing I liked about this one was like it had a moral to the story, like the two paths you can take, and he didn't make the right choices, and that's how come he ended up the way he did. He wanted to live that life and be that criminal person and all that stuff. And those kids, they would get the coin, and then instead of saving it to do something, they just bought a bunch of junk food. Like they took the easy path. And
to me, it was just like a real solid backstory.
Yeah.
It had a solid middle story where he advanced on, and then in the end, he moved on again. So it's like, okay. So to me, it was a more encompassing story where I felt like the Asajj story was just, again, left wide, strangely open. Like, okay, so Cad Bane has a kid, whatever. Cad Bane's still going to do what Cad Bane's going to do. Asajj now has an apprentice. Like, where the heck is the apprentice? So it's...
Is Cad Bane like a Dread Pirate Roberts kind of thing, like a moniker? Because like he kind of took the look from the other guy and like with the hat.
Oh, that's interesting, Ricky. Yeah, exactly. He did, because he took the hat, took the look, took the toothpick, took everything. So yeah, it just could be an ongoing thing. Hey, the love interest of Cad Bane, the one night stand lady, was she green or blue?
She was green. She wasn't. Yeah. No, was she green or was she?
So I think she was green. This is why I don't remember. I need to rewind. I think she was. The kid was blue.
But they definitely were a couple. They weren't just the one time thing.
I know. But Cad shoots his green friend with this blue kid around, and he's like, only after he shoots him, the guy says something, his last dying words or whatever. He's your son, or I didn't take. I don't know what he says or whatever. But and then Cad has a look on his face like, oh wait, this blue kid is mine, and it was just like, well, but he was green, so it couldn't have been the guy he shot's kid, unless a green and blue couple can get together and make a blue. We don't know how any of that works, obviously. It just seems super obvious that it wasn't his kid, Cad, and he's trying to, that kid's around while they're facing off, and just you could have had I'm trying to tell you something, but you wouldn't let me, so we have this face off. Anyway, there's a kid that exists that could be a Dread Pirate Roberts type of thing that is just a moniker that carries on into perpetuity, or carries on.
The kid green, it would have been super confusing, and it wouldn't have been like you wouldn't have got.
No, you had to make it blue to make it obvious. Well, yeah, and again, being older and seeing the stories and just well, that's clearly going to be Cad's. You just knew where it was going because it was obvious. But to a younger kid or younger audience or somebody not as seasoned in watching and seeing so many stories and soap operas and all that, they're going to kind of come to the same revelation of, oh wait, that's Cad's kid, at that point in the story, not anytime two episodes sooner like we all did with regards to, okay, clearly we're going to see where this is going to go.
Yeah, I thought they were both. I want to see where they go next. Like maybe they got
for what they were. I think they fit perfectly in that Tales of environment.
Yeah,
a small little 3-episode short story. What I don't know how long they are. They were each 15 minutes maybe. So, they don't warrant a season or taking. They're perfect for what they are. A little bit of content each May, some new Star Wars content, some new Star Wars story on screen.
I
love
it.
I appreciated it.
But I feel like these were really good as standalones. Like the other ones, like they're kind of like you got the whole Ahsoka arc when she was a kid, and you got the other one with Qui-Gon and Dooku. Like I feel like those are like that's like an in between filler thing. These actually felt like episode, like I was watching a show, like those whatever 3 episodes they had. So it was like a full story. So I did like.
They were more full story than some of the others, right?
The other one like they fought Yaddle and that's it. Like it was like filler stuff. But this one's like not filler because they were good, but like you know what I mean? Like these
fleshed out more, right?
Yeah,
they were fleshed out, like you say, full
these.
story.
Yeah. The other ones I'll probably just watch again if I'm watching episode 1, and I'll watch them in between or whatever, But these ones are like full on episodes. It's a story arc. So I thought that was cool how they did that. Even like the ones with the Thrawn and the other lady, like I didn't really those are kind of just like it's her story, but it's like her little one shot story. It doesn't really do anything, but yeah. I thought these were good. I like them, and the animation just looks great on these now. So, looking forward to
that. That was definitely a selling point or something that should be appreciated and talked about. Right? Is the animation just looks so fluid. The cloak or the robes flowing on the Inquisitor, the red beady-eyed Inquisitor dude or whatever it was. He steps into frame, and it's just this tattered, torn, layered cloak thing that's flowing in the wind. Just looks so gorgeous, so realistic.
You go back and watch like the Clone Wars movie, and then watch these. You're like, geez, that's like light years.
And it literally is. The Clone Wars is 20 years old now? How old's a Clone War movie?
It's like watching Toy Story 1 and then watching like the newest one. Like, the animation like improved like so much like over the year. It's good.
So the shadowing, the lighting, the ability to do fluid in terms of flowing clothes, hair, fire, liquid, everything. There's no constraints on storytelling now. It's up to the creatives to come with a good story and the animators to put that to fruition, to make it pop and make it exist on screen and whatever it is that's described in words. It's an exciting time for kids and for content, I should say, an exciting time for creatives because there's no limit aside from an investment of money. I don't know how many animators it takes to make all that be that gorgeous, but every iteration is just going to get a little bit cheaper and a little bit more automated, or the tools are going to be handy.
Me and my daughter, we watch a lot of the documentary stuff behind the scenes. We were rewatching the first season of the ILM show because they did announce the second season, then it came out, but we haven't got to that yet.
Oh, I have not watched that yet. Yeah,
so we're watching the first one again just to get a refresher, and then we like to watch old stuff. There's YouTube videos where they show 80s commercials and 90s commercials. She always trips out on them because they're so different. So we watched one last night that was 2000s commercials, early 2000s ones. Everything was so heavy CGI, poorly done CGI because Matrix had just came out and stuff like that. So I'm glad that ILM and none of these movies have that in there, and just to see how the animation has developed over the years with computer generated stuff. It's
how bad it could have been.
Yeah, how bad it could have been.
Exactly, how dated it could look. Yeah, right, exactly. How bad it could have been.
Still holds up from it looks way better than anything that came out post 2004. It's crazy how good that ILM is at doing that, and the people that work on Star Wars and animation, it's crazy. They're still ahead. Even the stuff that they did 25 years ago, it still looks better than some of the stuff that comes out now. It's amazing. Can't get enough watching that ILM stuff. We got to finish that one because I want to watch second season because it does the prequel stuff, I guess. So
what's on the horizon that we had these Tales of drop? What's on the horizon for us, content wise, visual content wise?
Visions in what was it? October, I think. Malls next year.
Yeah, Malls next year. Yeah, Visions in October, so that's the next thing, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything streaming because Mandalorian was pushed till next year as a movie.
Yeah. So that celebration could be a huge reveal announcement. That one could have a pop being in the States and the amount of content and stuff that's coming or surrounding it or being around it. That one could be.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Nothing really new coming out, and then no new books either. So
exactly.
Yes, the books have really bogged way down. Now that their High Republic's kind of over. I mean, they have some coming, but they did 10 a year. Now it seems
three. What am I paying my D Plus subscription for? There's no flipping Star Wars content.
You can start from the beginning. Just rewatch Clone Wars all over again, which I'm
I'm watching the Marvel stuff too. So
I'm planning.
Ironheart looks good. I'm gonna watch that.
We watched Sister Act the other day. That was worth it. The movie's still funny. It still holds up.
I mean, other than Star Wars, D Plus has got absolutely nothing.
Really?
Real key interest to me. No.
Marvel, you could have all of Marvel.
You can watch them often. You haven't seen them.
I guess, Steven, that is a misnomer. You have an entire.
Not give a crap about any of that Marvel stuff.
You have an entire list of that could be knocked out with your D Plus subscription. So there's plenty of content.
I would like to knock down the price a bit and just have the Star Wars content.
You must not subscribe to Netflix. Because it's a steal compared to Netflix paying $30 for the same old TV shows that are on there. And Stranger Things is never going to come out.
Netflix. Netflix is good,
right? Nah, few and far between.
Yeah, I like Max better than Netflix.
Well, actually, hang on. There's got something on D Plus coming up. It's the Aliens on Earth film, TV series.
Oh yeah, the Aliens Earth show. Yeah.
That's coming soon. It's in August, I think.
Really? Nice.
Even though I don't really have a lot of interest in the Alien stuff,
you can watch all the Aliens movies.
To watch this.
They're all on there. So.
Well, they're all the same old thing, though, aren't they? Most of them, apart from a few.
No, the latest one I went to the theater for. It was pretty good.
I haven't watched that one.
Classic scary alien stuff.
I didn't watch the second Prometheus one or whatever that was. I need to get back into those.
And then they have the animated Predator series that came out too.
Oh yeah, I did see that on.
Oh, and of course I did watch the Spider-Man cartoon, which is good.
Yeah, see, Spider-Man
like that. So there's a few things.
You watched the movies, remember?
Yeah, I did watch the movies. Yeah, eventually. Yeah.
Watch the Ant-Man movies; those are good. You can just watch those.
Watch all of them. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, I mean, but if you want to give him a series that he'll like, I think he'll like the humor on that one.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. Yep.
What's films or TV series?
Show. Movies. They're Marvel movies.
How many?
3.
There's like 40 Marvel movies.
Well, yeah.
You want something to kill time or not, Steven?
You can watch Renegade Nell again.
Just like one, only like one for Ant-Man.
Just keep watching Renegade Nell and they'll bring you back, Steven. We'll
No, there's 3 Ant-Man movies.
Yeah, there's 3.
Yeah. And D Plus though, I've got nothing at the moment I'm watching.
I'm constantly on Disney Plus. That's all I watch mostly. Is Disney Plus.
I watch a lot of Netflix because they have wrestling now, so I watch them like every week.
Yeah,
I just watch Cobra Kai.
I swap between them all really. Oh, hang on a minute. D Plus. No, that's not. No.
See, now they have Hulu on D Plus now, so there's like extra stuff on there. So.
Well, you might. We don't.
Yeah. Well, you get everything else in one app on yours.
So it sounds like it's a very light couple of months from a Star Wars content, right?
Dry spell.
It's a dark time.
The books
we
are
get
good.
into some Senate sessions and talk about some various Senate session topics or just some off things or whatever that we don't have any content to
there's always
we can get back to the good stuff then, like
Star Wars Unlimited.
Well, no. Like, how much does a lightsaber weigh?
That Trivial Pursuit. So,
one that I have that was debated something online or was tripping online was the whole Luke's green lightsaber. He found the green kyber crystal from Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber that in Obi-Wan's hut, that Obi-Wan kept his lightsaber, so he repurposed that. Or was it a shard from the Death Star? When the Death Star 1 blows up, do kyber crystals, are they shattered? Did they go as well, or are they strong enough to withstand that and we're just floating in space?
I'm pretty sure there was a comic showing him how he got that crystal.
Is it in a comic?
Yeah, I think there was.
That how he got it? Oh, yeah?
I just picked up issue 50, which is the final series, expecting for them to talk about the saber, and I think he's still using the yellow saber. So I'm like, I thought that was going to be the finale of the entire thing of that Star Wars issue 50 was how he got the green saber. And I haven't read the whole series, but I did pick up the last issue. It was a really good issue. It was like one of the best Star Wars comics I've read in a long time. But I was expecting it to end with that cut scene of him floating, putting together the saber, and it didn't. And I was like, well, that's weird. Why would you
look it up?
not end with that scene?
It was covered in something already. I got to look it up. I know they did. I don't know. Maybe somebody just mentioned it like at a celebration or something, but I'm pretty sure they did cover where he got it from. But it wasn't from the Death Star exploding.
Was it from Walmart?
Maybe. No, Amazon.
Tashi
It was a drone drop off.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think we've pretty much reached the end, haven't we? We've exhausted this stuff. Goodness knows what we're going to talk about next month.
Yeah.
Or the month after. Or the month after that one. But we're fine, 7. We always do.
No, there's always stuff to talk about.
Right, okay. Okay, well, thank you very much, everybody, for coming along. As ever, there will be information on how to find us all on the web. Coming up at some strategic point. We're on LinkedIn, are we?
No. Can't afford it.
No. We're on everything, aren't we? We're on Snapchat.
Not Snapchat. Twitter,
Snapchat,
no, X, Instacart, or Instagram.
Instacart?
No, Instagram. We're on Grubhub.
GeoCities, MySpace, Yahoo, ICQ, MSN Messenger. We're all there. They're everywhere. Yeah. Skype, where we were about a month ago. We're in all those good places.
We're on TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
Have you got any questions for us? That'd be good for our future shows. When people ask us some running questions, not like what do we eat for dip breakfast or anything like that, but Star Wars.
Yeah, I'll share.
Questions. Star Wars related questions. Just email us or drop us something on the thing, some random stuff.
Been eating Star Wars wheat thins. That's all I've been eating.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll play some Trivial Pursuit here down the line. We can get everyone together, and until then, we can talk about Star Wars Unlimited.
Yeah, be fun.
Can't wait. Okay, so let's wrap up. So let's say goodbye from Ryan.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye from Ricky.
Bye-bye.
And goodbye from Ron.
Cheers, everyone. Stay safe out there.
Goodbye from the 3 R's, and it's goodbye from me. May the Force be with you all.
All right, bye, everybody.
Go switch off. I am the Senate.
Be sure to follow us online. We're at Facebook at PSW Senate. Join our PSW Star Wars Facebook group, where we all are in there interacting. You can find us on Twitter at PSW Senate. On Instagram, we're at PSW Senate Podcast. And on TikTok, we're at PSW Senate Podcast. We look forward to hearing from you.
The Force will be with you, always.